So a lot of people plant a tree like this simply by just digging a hole, put the tree in there, cover it back up, and they call it done. And that's exactly why a lot of trees die within the first few years. So today I'm going to show you how to actually plant a tree the correct way so it not only lives, but it thrives. So the tree that I picked is a Chinese pistache tree. And the reason I picked that tree is because it is, a very good Texas heat and drought tolerant tree. It grows to the perfect height, and an added bonus, it has a really awesome fall color. It'll turn bright red in the leaves, yellowish. It looks fantastic, and I love that look. That's why my other tree over here is a fire maple. I love the look in the fall. If you have power lines going over the top, you may not want to plant in that area, or you're going to have to top the tree like the one across the street here was topped because it grew into the power lines. So keep that in mind. Take into account how close you are to your home, how close you are to the street, how close you are to the driveways. If you don't want to have a lot of sap and things like that on your cars. Another factor for me is I just took out an ash tree right here, and it had a massive root ball system underneath the ground. So you want to be at least, 5-6 feet off of that. I'm going to be 8 foot off. I've already got a brick exactly where I'm going to put it so that I do not have to have this tree competing for nutrients and ground over that root ball. You do not want to plant right next to an existing tree that had been taken down. Even if you grind the stump out, everything is still underground. Keep that in mind. When you are picking out your tree at the nursery is what size container do you get? What do you look for in that container so that you know you're getting a good tree? First of all, this tree is still dormant. The leaves haven't come out. You can do a little scratch test on it with a little knife or even your fingernail on the sides. Make sure that it's green underneath. That way you know the tree is alive. And I would check in 2 or 3 places to make sure that I don't have a lot of dead limbs or half the tree is dead. So that's one of the things I'm going to look for. The next is going to be the container size. You're going to get all the way down to like a 1 gallon container, up to a 15, 45, and even big box trees. Where they're in a big box, they're much larger and you have instant shade. Now, you may be thinking that instant shade is the way to go. If I can afford to buy that big box tree, I'm going to shave off a lot of growth time. That's true to a point, but a lot of research is actually pointing to the fact that if you plant something in a 15 or 45 gallon, size, that the tree tends to be stronger long term. And then once it grabs a hold, it tends to outgrow those bigger trees. The big trees take a while to actually get going. So this one is actually a 15 gallon. I really wanted a 45, but they did not have any in this particular tree. So I ended up with the 15. The next thing you're going to look for is going to be what's called a root flare. Now, a root flare, if you're not familiar, is going to be at the bottom of the tree. So when you're following the tree down, it looks all symmetrical all the way to the bottom until you get to the end, and then it's going to flare out, almost like feet. So where it flares, you want that above ground. You at least want it grade. I always plant 2 to 3 inches above that because the tree is going to settle a little in time. But when you go to pick these out, you want to try to look for some where you see this root flare. Now, I can see part of the root flare, but this still has a lot of excess dirt on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this up and we're going to get this dirt off of the top. And then we are going to open up the sides of it too, as far as the roots. And I'll show you how we do that. But that's why we don't put it in the ground yet, because the size of this is going to change. I'm going to take a quick moment to tell you about my free Homeowners DIY starter kit. It's going to have a lot of basic information about tool selection, electrical, plumbing, drywall, the kind of stuff that every homeowner needs to know. If you shoot me a quick email, I'll send that to you for free. My email address is going to be in the description. And as an added bonus, if you act right now, I'm going to go ahead and include the link in that email that will take you to my free PDF library. And that library is a lot more extensive. It's going to cover a lot more electrical, plumbing, landscaping, you name it, it's all going to be in there, and it's ever growing. I'm going to constantly be adding to that list, and you'll have access to it from now on. Shoot me an email and I'll get it to you right away. Okay, we've picked out our tree, we've picked out the location. This is where most homeowners fail. They simply dig a hole, drag the tree over, drop it in, cover it up, and call it done. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and address the tree that's potted, get it ready for planting, and then we're going to dig our hole. So let's do that. I like to take it and kind of put it on the side a little gently and just press. Once you get it kind of broke loose, you should be able to take it and slowly pull it out. There we go. Right, so when you first look at this, it doesn't look too bad. A lot of these I see have way more roots wrapping around it. Definitely we need to cut the top back a little. I'll use a good sawed knife, something like this, and I will just start removing. And I don't worry too much about cutting into roots up here, because these are not going to be near as important, and you're not hurting the tree at all here. You're actually helping it. Okay, there's my root flare. I'm going to make about 4 cuts on the sides all the way around. And what this is going to do is it's going to loosen up my roots. All right. So I'm going to tip it like this for a second so that I can actually see. And you want to break this up so that these roots will start spreading outward. And then I will do the same thing at the bottom. The flare is fully exposed. The excess is cut off not only in the top, but around the sides. I've opened up the roots on the sides a little so they can spread out. Because contrary to popular belief, a lot of people think the roots go down. The roots really don't go down. You may have certain trees that have a taproot, but the majority of your roots are going to spread out. That is why we didn't just take the sides of the pot and dig the hole. You don't want the hole to the size of this pot, then you trim it down and you have all this void underneath the actual tree. It'll also make the tree sink over time because you've opened all that up in the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to dig this hole, and it's also going to make your hole a lot easier to dig, but we're only going to dig the hole about 7 inches. We're going to try 7. That way this will set up a little bit off the ground, above our surrounding area. And then we are going to make it probably at least 2 times as big. So we are at 13 inches. So I'm going to be at least 26 inches wide, and I'll probably go to 3 feet wide all the way across. So that way it makes a nice area. So let's go ahead and let's start digging out the hole real quick. The width is going to be on this one, I've got it right at 36 inches. Now, this is another area that homeowners make a mistake on, is they use the shovel and you dig out the round part of the hole. When you do that, the shovel itself, the metal on it, actually kind of glazes the side of the hole, and it makes it almost like a pot. And so what happens is the tree grows inside of that pot and doesn't want to spread out because it's comfortable in there and it's too hard to go through the clay or the hard soil. So what you're going to want to do is take a shovel like this and go in and you break it all up really good before you completely put this in. It's called telephone poling. If you plant your tree too deep, you're not going to see the flare. It's going to look like a telephone pole coming up inside of here. Another area where people mess up is they will put gravel in the bottom. You do not want to put gravel down in the bottom. Gravel down in the bottom helps with drainage on things like fence posts. You have concrete above, gravel at the bottom. When you have soaking wet soil at the top and you have gravel underneath, the gravel doesn't actually let the water drain away. It kind of holds it in place and you end up with a lot of tree rot. I leave the bottom pretty well flat. I just want the outside to be really chopped up so that those roots can spread out and grow. All right, guys, so the next step after we get everything set in and then we've chopped up the glazing on the side is we're going to go ahead and add some water. Now, I've filled this about half full. I'm going to let that soak in, and then we're going to come back with the original topsoil and put it on. And then I'll show you how I actually put the mulch on top the correct way so you don't kill the tree. All right, guys, the actual water has worked itself in. One thing I failed to mention, if you have a lot of roots and stuff, another reason to actually wet everything down, put some dirt in, wet it down, is that it's going to turn more like a mud and it's going to kind of pack itself around those roots better. And that way you get rid of any air pockets. Air pockets are not good around the roots. Got a good steel rake. We're going to kind of rake it in and get it set up, and then I'll show you what we do from that point. So what I've done, everything is nice and compacted, level here. Now I built a slight berm around the sides to help kind of hold the water a little when it comes in. When we water, we want to do slow watering. I like to use a bucket, like a Home Depot bucket. I'll drill 3 or 4 little 1/16 inch holes in the top, and I'll put that bucket on the side. I'll actually usually buy 2, put one on this side, one on that side, and I'll fill those up a couple of times so that I get plenty of slow water. And then I don't water until it dries out again. You don't want to keep the roots wet all the time. You will kill the tree. Now we're going to use a little bit of the cow manure. I said we don't use a lot of this. We're going to use only about 20%. I'm just going to kind of mix it in the dirt. It gives a little bit of kind of fertilizer effect. Like I said, we actually want the roots to spread out. So if you put too much, especially down in the hole, it's not going to spread out. It has everything it needs right there. Just like that. So that's all I do there, just very little. And now we're going to mulch. And this is where a lot of homeowners make another mistake. They do what's called volcanoing. They mulch and mulch straight up the actual tree. You don't want that. You do not want the mulch to be maybe 2-3 inches thick, and you want it away from this base. This is just going to help it hold in moisture, especially when it's hot, especially as the tree is taking root. So we're going to take some, spread it around. This is just good old pine mulch. So there you go, guys. If you plant a tree like this, it'll probably outlive you. But there are a few mistakes that a lot of homeowners make when they plant the trees, and I'm going to cover that in the next video. So as always, guys, I appreciate you watching. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Ring that little bell notification. Matter of fact, hit it twice so you know about all of my upcoming videos as I release them, and we'll see you on the next one.